Oop announces her pregnancy and her older sister demands an abortion, adoption. I am not Oop. This was originally shared by you, throw away pregnant on our advice. Original post published on March 22, 2022. I, 28F, am currently 19 weeks pregnant. My partner, 29M, and I are very excited, as this is our first baby and we have been trying for a few months. We announced the pregnancy a month ago at a dinner party we hosted, and everyone seemed surprised and overjoyed. My sister, 35F, who I will call K, immediately burst into tears and asked me how I could do this to her. I stared at her, and asked, what? She started ranting, saying that I always got everything I wanted, which is not true. I worked hard for all that I have, and that she knew I got pregnant just so I could rub her infertility in her face. She screamed at me for 5 minutes about how I didn't deserve to be a mother and she should be the one pregnant right now. My parents left with her soon after, and the party was basically over. I was really disturbed by my sister's reaction, because we had been pretty close before, and she had never done anything like this. Kay called me the next day, apologizing for how she acted at my announcement and asked if we could meet up for coffee. I accepted. We met up and she pretended as nothing had happened. Then she started a big speech about her infertility, how heartbreaking it is to be growing life inside of her, just to lose it, and how she had always wanted children of her own. She then proceeded to ask me if I could consider getting an abortion, to make things fair, or letting her adopt my baby. I stared at her and asked if she was serious. Kay said she was. I just dropped my part of the bill on the table and left. Kay's husband texted me a rant that night about how I'd made Kay cry, and how all they wanted was to be parents, and that this meant so much to them, and I owed them for being more successful than them. I and my partner invested many years into our jobs, and we have worked very hard to earn what we earn now. I told them that my partner and I had been hoping for kids too and that I was not giving up my baby. He hung up. She later sent me a long letter, 4 pages, about how she had always wanted to be a mother, and could I consider either abortion or letting her adopt my baby. How I should care about my older sister's happiness. How she would make a better mom. How the oldest kid should have the first grandchild. And how I could always just have another baby since it was so easy for me to conceive. After that, she quieted down some, and I thought we were done with this. Except, it wasn't. She had posted my sonogram on her FB, and captioned it, "Elle and I are expecting. We can't wait to meet our little princess." Quote, I was seeing red. I texted her and demanded she takes the post down. No reply. I texted Elle. No reply. So I called my mother and told her what happened. She was able to make Kay take the post down. Luckily enough, Kay has called me petty for calling my mom and has continued to demand I give up my baby. I sent her a letter explaining that I had had enough of her nonsense. I am keeping my baby, and that I recommend she get some help. I added that if she continues, I will not hesitate to call 999. This weekend, however, was the absolute last straw. My mom and dad have the spare key to my house, and while she was over at their house for brunch, she took the key. While my partner and I were at work, she broke into our house and stole all the clothing, blankets, nappies, bottles, and pretty much any other item we had bought for the baby. Except furniture. It was later returned after my mom found it in her car. I called 999. But they told me I couldn't do anything because I had no proof and because it was all returned. My partner and I are moving in April, but I'm still scared my sister will find out where we live and take my child. I get that she's upset and jealous due to her infertility, but that shouldn't mean I have to give up my baby. My parents know about this, and they have been doing their best to get her some help. She doesn't want to adopt, because she wants a child that's her own flesh and blood. I'm due in August, and the stress she's causing cannot and will not be good for me or the baby. My partner is looking into a cease and desist letter. Is there anything else I should do or say? I'm scared for my baby. Update added as an edit 6 days later. The support I've received from this website is overwhelming. Thank you all for your comments. Although I couldn't reply to all of them, they are appreciated. We have had the locks changed, cameras installed, and a Ring doorbell. I've started saving every letter and screenshotting every message my sister has sent and plan to take them to court for a restraining order very soon. We have also been seriously documenting everything. My husband and I are planning a trip to Ireland for our anniversary next week. And it's going to be good to clear our heads from my sister. I've called 999 to report her for harassment, and they gave her a warning. She's contacted me saying that if I won't give her my child, I can at least pay for multiple rounds of IVF, which I have not replied to other than refusing. She's been begging my parents to convince me to give up my baby, which they refuse to do. They have also been given a statement that basically says that if they give her my contact information, they will not see my baby, to which they have agreed. I've since changed my phone number, and we are moving very soon. My sister does not know our new address. She actually stood on our stoop for 20 minutes a few days ago, banging on our door and yelling. My husband opened a window and told her that if she didn't leave, he would let the dog out, and threatened to call the police. We have a rather small, but hyper puppy who jumps on everyone and barks a lot, and she is quite scared of dogs, actually. So this made her leave. I started working from home last week, as did my husband, and we've followed the advice of one of the comments, washed all of the baby stuff, as well as made sure none of the food in our kitchen was messed with. None was. Luckily, we're planning on getting a restraining order as soon as possible, and are looking forward to our trip. I'm already sick of being pregnant, and I'm not even in the 3rd trimester. I just want my baby. Thank you all again for your wonderful advice, and I may update you again when the baby is born. Reminder: I am not oop, and that she knew I got pregnant just so I could rub her infertility in her face. Elmau, some people are so egocentric, it's amazing. Dang, this is not over. Pretty sure sis will become a maniac after the baby is born. Her sister is actually mentally ill. She needs an intervention. Oop is right to be scared. Sis sounds like someone that would flat out steal that baby. Sis needs counseling. Stat: do not, under any circumstances, let her know where you are moving to. Make sure she doesn't follow you at any point to your new place. That's a lot of crazy for 7 a.m. Wow. Damn, OOP's sister is at a whole another level of crazy. Doesn't want a kid that's not flesh and blood but is willing to take someone else's kid that's only partially related. Yeah, insane people usually make the best mothers. Oh, Lord. Sister needs therapy. She's on the fast track to an involuntary psych hold. Or she would be if she was my child, spouse. This is absolutely unhinged behavior. I had a coworker who also struggled with infertility. She lost her only child to a stillbirth and never recovered from it. She discovered that a young, healthy, and likely fertile woman, did not want children and demanded that I conceive and birth a child to give to her. I thought she was joking. She was not. Infertility can mess with your mind in all kinds of horrible ways. But sister takes it to a new level. Hopefully she gets the help she needs, but something tells me this will continue to escalate. I make this comment on almost every post involving infertility, geared towards the infertile couple. Sometimes I get downvoted, but it is what it is. Other women aren't getting pregnant just to spite you. They're getting pregnant because it's common for women their age to get pregnant. They're not the reason you're infertile, so your jealousy is unwarranted. If you can't be happy for the good fortunes of others, then you're not mature enough to handle a baby. Jesus Christ. That's unhinged. She sounds capable of ripping open her pregnant sister and steal the unborn baby. I'm legit scared for this woman. Am I the only one who thinks it was actually older sister who always got everything she wanted? Because being told no would result in gestures vaguely, all this? Sister needs some serious help, and Oop needs to get on that restraining order because that child will not be safe. This is a speed run of the baby crazy stepmother-in-law. Hope they get some serious therapy, or this could go so much worse. The sister and her husband both need therapy and psychological assessment, especially the sister. OPP needs to cut off all contact and remove herself entirely from the situation, which is what they seem to be trying to do. A lot of people will just call the sister a selfish person, but this feels like a mental, psychotic break. This is very sad all around. I've lost a child in a traumatic way, and it messes with your mind. Can't imagine going through it multiple times. Not an excuse for her behavior, but might be a reason. She is going to cut the baby right out of her sister, and if she doesn't do that, she most definitely will at some point in her life try to steal that child. The craziest part is that the husband is in on it. Oop is a lot calmer than I am. I would have a total different reaction. Not interesting in adopt because she wants a child that's her own flesh and blood? Yeah, she would be great mother, that's for sure. This is a serious mental health emergency. The sister needs to be hospitalized. Just as a contrast to the sister, I have a friend who found out as a teenager she was infertile. Essentially, without going too deep into the weeds of her medical condition, she was born without a womb. And this was found out when she never started her period. When she found out, she made a point of telling all her friends and family that they were not to feel awkward about pregnancy and starting a family, that they could still share things like that with her, and that she wanted to know and be involved in just the same ways as she was before she found out. She said it's hard, and it will always be hard in a way to deal with the fact that she had her choice taken from her. But that shouldn't dampen anyone else's celebrations or happiness for her sake. Considering she was 18 and the sister is 35, I think that says a lot. These are the psychos you read about who cut the babies out of pregnant women and try to pass them as their own. It's been in the headlines too many times. She needs to be involuntarily committed to a psych ward. Like yesterday.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.